Welcome to this edition of The Hill with April Ryan. There's a lot to talk about. Let's get right to it. The rematch is set for the 2024 presidential election. The Super Tuesday elections delivered decisive victories for President Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Another poor showing, Nikki Haley bowed out of the Republican race on Wednesday. Now both campaigns can turn their focus squarely on the general election in November. Biden is hoping to give his campaign a lift when he delivers his State of the Union address Thursday. The address falls on the 59th anniversary of the Bloody Sunday March in Selma, Alabama. The march supported the rights for Black people to vote, particularly in the South, without any form of voter suppression, intimidation, or discrimination. As we enter this 2024 election cycle, the nation is voting without the full protections of the 1965 Voting Rights Act, after the Supreme Court decision ruling weakening protections of the Voting Rights Act. BlackPAC and Democratic pollster Cornell Belcher have a new poll out that shows Donald Trump's favorability remains consistently low among Black voters. Black voters named Donald Trump's re-election as the biggest threat to the community at 36%, with the rise of white supremacy and nationalism coming in second at 25%. The poll found no increase in support for Trump among Black voters. Daniel Cameron, the Black prosecutor in the Breonna Taylor case, could be back in the spotlight. You'll remember that Cameron is the attorney general who refused to charge the police officers responsible for killing Taylor. After a failed run for governor in Kentucky, he appears to be eyeing a potential run for Mitch McConnell's seat when his term ends in 2027. McConnell announced recently that he will leave his leadership post in November. Colman Elridge, chair of the Kentucky Democratic Party, spoke to TheGrio exclusively on this matter.
So understand, the reason McConnell had the legislature change our appointment laws was to pave the way for Daniel Cameron to be appointed his successor. We've known it's coming, and we'll be ready.
Elridge says the Kentucky Democratic Party will be prepared if there is a Daniel Cameron run. He says the Republican Party in Kentucky mirrors the national identity crisis the party is dealing with as they struggle with the MAGA takeover. Thanks to a recent Alabama Supreme Court decision, IVF treatments have been the center of national debate. For many couples, IVF treatment is the only hope for having children. But too often, the discussion about IVF doesn't include women of color. Millions of Black women across the country dealing with infertility turn to IVF. That struggle is highlighted in the film Eggs Over Easy, directed by Chiquita Lockley. I spoke with Real Housewife of Potomac, Candace Dillard Bassett, who is active in the IVF community. Keisha Knight Pulliam narrated the documentary Eggs Over Easy and also spoke about IVF in the Black community.
We have a story to tell,
Yes.
and we need to ensure that when we're doing documentaries and different like that, that we get the word out,
Yes.
and that we are included. And at the end of the day, like, I'm a firm believer, and it's nobody's business what to tell me about
My
to do
body.
with my uterus.
Yes.
But why are brown people left out of the IVF conversation, especially now?
We historically are always the last to get access, and that's why it's important to tune in to documentaries like Eggs Over Easy, which was very inspiring to me, and to tell our personal stories, and because they're all so different and all so necessary,
and they're valuable.
And we have to be the agents of that.
And finally, the White House celebrated HBCU Day last week. Students from different HBCUs showed their pride and listened to policy conversations on AI and student loan debt relief. I was honored to be a moderator for one of those panels. But meanwhile, I caught up with Terrence J., who spoke with the students.
Well, I hope that the enthusiasm is infectious. I hope that as they, forgive student loans and as they invest money, that they do it for these young people at HBCUs. So I hope the White House hears them loud and clear. In addition to all of their thoughts, all their concerns, I hope the White House is listening.
Terrence J. says HBCUs played an important part of his life. He is a proud alum of North Carolina A&T. And that's it for another edition of The Hill with April Ryan. Tune in next time right here for more news and information for us and about us. Until next time, peace.